Okay, he's the only GB boxer to medal at the Paris 2024 Olympics. Maybe he's the new bronze bomber. Mr. Lewis Richardson, how are you, mate?
Yeah, well, good, thank you. Pleasure to be here, pleasure to meet you, and yeah, looking forward to the chat.
Nice to meet you too. I think we're going to get on. You've got a good vibe about you.
I appreciate that.
So tell me about this. Are you the new bronze bomber? Has it all sunk in that you're an Olympic bronze medalist?
I mean, yeah, we're obviously a good few months post Olympics now, and has it sunk in? I don't know what it should feel like really, but I would say it's a very special feeling, a massive honour. You know, I'm super proud to represent my country at any level, any stage, but to do it in the pinnacle of sport at the Olympic Games, and to not only represent, but to bring home a medal, and to not only bring home a medal, but bring home the only medal for Great Britain at the Paris 2024 Olympics. It was yeah, super special, and yeah, overriding emotions of pride and honour to represent and achieve for my country.
Oh, and what's the relationship like with the bronze medal? Because if I look at Ben Whittaker, when he got the silver medal, he was unhappy, or suggested he was unhappy that he lost gold. But then you've got someone like Deontay Wilder who used it as his nickname, the bronze bomber. Such was his pride at being a bronze medalist. Where do you sit with it?
Gratitude, I'd say. I'm very grateful to be in the position I'm in. You know, we hear of a lot of heartache in amateur boxers, or not even getting to the Olympics, or not even getting nowhere near that level. But you know, there's a massive achievement in itself to become an Olympian. But you know, taking to that next level and to win the medal, which just takes it that little step further. Of course, I would have loved to have won gold, but you know, the Olympic Games hits different. It's like not like no other competition, and I believe that any medal you can be extremely proud of. If we go back through the greats, Floyd Mayweather, bronze medal, Roy Jones Jr., silver medal. You know, so there's plenty of Olympic medalists who maybe not won gold, but have gone on to be greats in the professional ranks. So yeah, we can definitely do that.
Could make you even hungrier that it wasn't the gold, right?
Of course, right? And I've always had a lot of motivation, a lot of discipline, and I've also had, you know, sort of whispers in my ear of doubt from external noises and voices, but it just gives you that extra little push to keep striving to be the best you can be. And I think I have that inner sort of strength in me to be the best version of Lewis Richardson, and yeah, I believe I can do good things.
So your Olympic journey, it feels like Olympics has always been like a dream for you anyway. Like maybe across any sport, you're always going to be in the Olympics. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I'd say so. You've been doing your research. I like it. Listen, I'm a big sports fan. I grew up just on the estate, just watching, just playing, just being active and being out and about. Love my food also, so I was also a little bit of a chubby kid. Started playing football, played every sport I could play at school, and I always remember, you know, watching the early Olympics. For me, it was probably Athens and Beijing, and seeing some of our Olympians like Kelly Holmes, like Sir Chris Hoy, you know, people like that who just represented Great Britain with real pride and honour. So seeing the Great Britain tracksuit on, the medals wrapped around them, and just thinking, wow, like these guys feel like superheroes, like they're just out of this world. But you know, fast forward, I don't know, 12, 16 years, and now I'm sort of I'm that guy. So yeah.
Even there, you kind of stumble on it. Do you realise that you're that guy?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult sometimes, because I just see myself as a super normal individual who's pushed himself to be the best version he can be, and yeah, just gone and excelled and almost overachieved from the background I've come from. But I also understand a little bit later in life that I deserve to be here, because I've earned that right, and yeah, I am the man, and I'm the man for the job moving forwards also. So yeah, it's I have that belief now, as well as the sort of hard work and determination that's always been there.
You've said they're overachieved, and I've heard you say something else in the past about things like this aren't supposed to happen to people like me. What does that mean?
It's just, you know, coming from traditional, and it's a lot of boxing people. We come from traditional sort of working class council estate backgrounds where where these things, you know, you're not meant to overachieve. You're meant to go to school, maybe not get great grades. You're meant to go in a sort of 9-to-5 job, or go down other avenues which aren't necessarily too attractive, but you find a way to get by and to live. And you know, I've had a lot of friends who have gone down that route, but for whatever reason, I've channeled my energy into the right path. So I believe. And yeah, always challenge myself the best I could in the boxing ring, in the boxing gym, but also just living the life. You know, I've showed great discipline over a long period of time, not just in boxing, but in life. And I've got a good education behind me. I've got good, solid people in my team. I've got good, solid people at home, with family and friends. And I just believe, you know, I'm in a great position. I'm really excited for the future.
Listen, there's always a moment where a boxer gets the bug. When did that happen for you? Why did you choose boxing was going to be what you put your life into?
The one-on-one factor, gladiatorial factor, the fact that it's you versus him, you versus your opponent, but also you versus you. No team environment, no one to sort of lean on, or no one to sort of blame at the same time. So yeah, I love the fact that when I get into the boxing ring, that it's the hard work around that's been put in, the groundwork, the stuff that a lot of people don't see, a lot of people aren't prepared to do. But for me, I know I've done that consistently over years and years, and regardless of whether I get my hand raised, you know, obviously I've won far more than I've lost in the amateur ranks, but also have lost some. So it's a case of taking accountability and understanding, okay, I've lost that, or I haven't got a decision. Maybe I thought I won, but there's always room for improvement. So understanding that, yeah, you're accountable for your actions, and your actions have consequences, and those consequences, you do the right things, the right consequence will come, positive consequences. So it's just finding that balance for me, and I love that with other sports. I always love sport, but team sports are difficult because, you know, your friend could give away a penalty and you can't control that. So maybe it's a little bit of control freak, control factor in me. But yeah, I love that accountability, win or lose. I take that and I own that. Never the blame game, never, I've got to switch trainer, I've got to switch this guy. It's like, okay, let's work together, let's build that team. And that's why I've taken a little bit of time. You know, I've not rushed into the professional ranks. Off the back of the Olympics, obviously had a lot of noise, a lot of people talking to me post games, but I'm really happy with the team and the people I've got around me to guide me to achieve big things in the professional game. There
was a little bit of noise around the Olympics that maybe the decision didn't go your way, could have gone your way, kind of thing. I didn't actually hear any of that noise from you. I can't remember you moaning about that.
It's not my position to do that, you know. I don't like to play the blame game. Do I think I won the fight? Yes, I do. But that's, you know, I didn't get decisions. So there were 5 judges. 2 thought I did win the fight, and 3 thought I didn't. You know, unfortunately, it didn't go my way. Again, take accountability, control the controllables. And for me, I can't. I try to control what they've done, but it's a subjective sport. And unfortunately, in my case, they thought it went. You know, 3 of the 5 thought it went the other way. I did have a lot of people obviously saying that they thought I'd done enough, but you know, it just wasn't meant to be.
What was it, 4 weeks? How long? 12 weeks, isn't it?
What, the games?
Yeah, the actual games.
We were out there for 4 weeks, yeah.
4 weeks. Best 4 weeks of your life?
I would say it's very, very close to, and you know, it had to be something extra special to top the Olympic experience for me. I qualified quite late, so I only qualified about 6 weeks ago from the Olympics, so always remember the day, May the 31st, 2024, I qualified in Thailand. Which was a really emotional day for me. It meant a hell of a lot to qualify after sort of, you know, a lot of trials and tribulations before that. And yeah, the Olympic experience, you know, 4 weeks over in Paris was so special, and yeah, memories for life, and also so special for me because I love people. I love bringing people on the journey, and I was able to bring my family and friends, some of my sponsors, some other people who have been big parts of my career and life over to Paris, and for them to experience it with me, just really made it that bit extra special.
I hope you can get such special memories in the pros as well, because that just sounds like lightning in a bottle. Sounds amazing.
Absolutely, I hope so too. We'll find out.
But you had moments in the actual games itself where around you everything was kind of your mates, the Team GB guys, they were going out, they were losing their fights, and you were the guy who kept on winning. You got your bronze medal. What was that period like, where everyone was kind of dropping off around you, but you were still having to stay strong? Because as much as it is an individual sport, there's still that team kind of spirit from Team GB,
yeah,
right?
Of course, yeah. I mean, it was difficult. I was the last one to go out of our team of 6, and unfortunately, all 5 had lost in the first round. So, the team morale within GB boxing, or Team GB boxing, was quite low. And that's where you've got to separate yourself, from it being like a team environment to an individual sport, and you've got to own that. You've got to own the situation, and again, take accountability and take ownership of how you control your emotions.
But it can't have been too hard for you then, because of that mentality that you already had.
Yeah, but it comes through experience, I've had moments where things haven't gone my way, or moments haven't gone the way I wanted them to go, but it's how you learn, it's how you grow from that. It's that growth mindset, and I believe I have that, and it put me in a position to be able to deal with those emotions, deal with those behaviours around me, and just channel it in the right way. And out of all my performances, probably the first fight at the Olympic Games was one I'm most proud of, the way I controlled my emotions and just held my nerve in a really competitive bout against a European champion and a world silver medalist. So we were going in. I remember mates making a little bit of money on the bookies from me, because I was the underdog going into that fight. I was the underdog going into my medal fight. I was an underdog going into the semi-final. So I was able to just show people, prove people wrong. I've been doing that my whole career, so there's always going to be doubters, and I'm sure there'll be a few more. But I'm excited to prove more people wrong.
That's a good feeling, right? When people are telling you can't do something, you're not supposed to be that guy, but then you do it, right?
Exactly, and then there's only so long they can deny you for. There's only so long they can say that for, so long that they can accuse you of this and that for, until you just keep showing up, just keep proving them wrong. And yeah, I'm in the history books forever. That will be with me forever.
You had moments in your amateur career where it wasn't really plain sailing. It's never really been plain sailing for you, but I was reading that you were injured, and then COVID hit, and then the weight division you were going to be in, they just suddenly took that away as well. It's been quite the storm you've had to go through.
Yeah, of course. I mean, everyone has their story and their journey, and when I'm living my own journey, it's quite hard to see quite how tough it is. But when you hear like really established people within the program, within the former Olympic medalists say, "Trust me, Lou, like you've had a real tough ride on this, and you've really had to dig it out and grind it out." It sort of just puts it a little bit more into perspective. But yeah, it has been tough. Obviously, we all go through injuries. That was a long time ago. But more importantly, COVID year hit. We only got one chance to qualify. This was for the Tokyo cycle. The one chance I got was I drew the world number 1, who was pound for pound the most feared amateur on the planet at the time, Alexander Kuzniak. He's an Olympic champion, Olympic silver medalist. He was the man of amateur boxing for many, many years. So Tokyo didn't go my way. All focus was then put towards Paris. I knew I'd be big and strong and ready for Paris 2024, like a fully fledged man. And then my weight category got taken out, which was, a really tough thing for me to hear. The middleweight division, probably the most prestigious, the most popular weight category there is in male Olympic boxing, and it got taken out. And for a period of time, a large period of time in 2023, I thought the Olympic dream was probably over. The options were move down to 71, move up to 80, or make you move on from the program. Fortunately, GB boxing really allowed me time to process that. I started seeing a sports psychologist who, I'm a big advocate for going down that route, and I see it as an absolute strength that people can go and sort of go and look within themselves, to go and learn about themselves, educate themselves. I see that as a big strength. So I'd done that and made the decision to drop down to 71. And I would say it's one of the best decisions I ever made.
Did you think that you could get down to 71?
Well, I'd been told.
You're a big guy. You're 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah, 6'2", and I'd been boxing at 75 at middleweight for 9 years. So from 2014 to 2023, I was boxing at middleweight. Grew from a boy to a man in the middleweight division, and as you say, I'm big enough at middleweight. So I got told from professionals within sort of the field of nutrition or weight making that listen, you might be able to make the weight, but making it back to back to back, day after day, and competing at the highest level in the world, probably not. And so it was difficult to hear that, you know, when you thought, and I knew I probably wasn't big enough for light heavyweight, but I just backed myself again, owning the situation, take accountability, and be the man for the job, and I was able to do that. At top level, whether that's amateur or professional, I think physically, all athletes are in great shape. So physically, they're all strong, they're all fit, they're all durable, and I think the two biggest determining factors are the skill level and the mental resilience and their mental state, really. So skill level, I think, is variable because some people have different strengths, but you know, as long as I certainly believe I've got a good skill level, I think the proof's in the pudding in that respect. But what will really separate you, you know, to be the best, you know, from the rest is the case of having your mental state right. And I believe, you know, getting that sort of psychological support to educate, to understand why you're having these emotions, having these sort of thoughts, pre, during, post-fight, puts me in a far stronger position to go and execute the game plan, to be able to recover right, to be able to sleep better at night. Just helps to create a bit more of the fuller package of me, Lewis Richardson, and you know, obviously me as the athlete, but also as the individual.
Okay, well, you, Lewis Richardson, is now a pro boxer. I think you hopefully we'll hear some news soon as to when you're going to make your pro debut. But you've signed with Frank. Signed with Queensberry. Talk to me a bit about this transition from amateurs to pros.
Listen, I'm really excited. I've had a good period of time to enjoy sort of the fruits of my labour from the amateur and the Olympic experience. Was invited to some amazing sort of gigs and opportunities and events post-Olympics. Met the King. Again, these things shouldn't be happening to me. Met
you talk about
Minister.
Today?
Yeah, well, something like
that. Met the King.
Cut that bit out. Yeah. So yeah, like just I've done some real amazing things. Done a lot of local work in my community in Colchester, which I'm really proud of doing. And now I'm ready to get back to business. And you know, as we say, signing with Frank, signing with Queensberry, it's a place to be. It's funny how the boxing market changes from year after year, but you know, as we speak, and hopefully for the good future, this is the place to be. I'm really excited. The middleweight division in Queensberry boxing is busy. You know, of course, we've seen what Queensberry are doing with the heavyweights. They're trying to really monopolise that. But you look at probably around any other weight, the middleweight division is probably the busiest. They've got British middleweight fighters, they've got European, they've got world level fighters. So yeah, really excited to be joining that mix, and feel like I'm in a super competitive weight, ready for noise to be made around me, and ready to sort of justify that noise being made.
And make the noise yourself.
Absolutely.
What can we expect then from Lewis Richardson as a pro? We've only seen you over a few rounds with bigger gloves on, smaller gloves, longer rounds now. Yeah. What does that mean for you?
You'll see me breaking down opponents. I'm fit, durable, I'm skillful, and you'll see me get into opponents in later rounds. I'll be breaking them down, be wearing them down round by round, and yeah, you'll see the development that I'm sort of practicing in the gym, from taking away the sprint of an amateur bout to that sort of marathon pace, or that longer distance pace at least. But the beauty with me is I won't be bringing that pace down too much. So these guys have got to compete with my pace and my fitness levels, my skill levels, and yeah, I'm confident that the majority won't be able to.
You've been the underdog for a while, right? Now, when you start your pro career with this medal that you've got, everyone will be talking about you're the only guy who won a medal for the GB at the Olympics. You've got all of this fanfare around you, Queensberry, DAZN. You won't be underdog for a number of fights. You'll have the pressure you have to win in there. You can't lose to whoever they're putting you in with initially. How do you think you're going to deal with that?
Pressure is privilege, right? And at the Olympic Games, I was the last man standing. I see a tweet from a well-known journalist on the day of my first fight saying only one man can save Great Britain boxing, and I come through, and I believe I saved that, securing a medal, securing funding for the next cycle, for the next generation of fighters coming through, and yeah, I thrive under pressure. and I can deliver on the big stage. I've delivered on the big stage, and I'll be ready to do it, you know, countless times again and again, on another amazing platform on DAZN, you know, global platform, ready to really showcase my skills and showcase my skills to the full world.
How quickly do you think you'll be moved? How quickly do you want to be moved? You're what, 27, right?
Yeah, 27, yeah.
So what are you thinking?
I mean, I've got thoughts in my head about how quickly I want to move. My team have got thoughts, but I think most importantly, we'll see early doors in the career, you know, within the first year of sort of where I'm at and where I'm heading. But I'm certainly confident I'll be fighting for titles within the first couple of years, because I know what level I'm at. I've sparred with a lot of these sort of, you know, national British level middleweights, and I believe I'm in a good position already. So it's just about getting that experience, you know, under different lights with smaller gloves, in a different environment. But I'm confident I'll be moving fairly quick.
Have you got any unfinished business from any amateur rivals? Anyone you want to see in the pros?
Yeah, Marco Verdi, the Mexican, who beat me on a 3-2 split decision in the Olympic semi-final. I can't remember who he signed with.
He's on an upcoming show, isn't he?
He's on Canelo's. He's debuting on Canelo's undercard, and I'd love to run that back. And I think he would as well, because we had a really good fight. We showed a lot of respect before and after. But I would love to run that one back in the future.
Anyone else?
Nah, I'll keep my noise. I let other people make the noise on me. I've got a few people would love to sort of get it on with, but I think at this stage of my career, I've sort of got the pull. And when it comes to those sort of bigger fights, so domestic fights, or even, you know, the European, the Commonwealth, the world level title fights, and we'll wait until the time's right for that.
Oh, look, I'm looking forward to it. I want to ask you a final thing. Now that you are this Olympic bronze medalist, are you like the king of Colchester? Are you walking around like?
We like that one.
Yeah.
We like that one. Yeah, I'm certainly more. You know, I would say I'm more well known. But even like, you know, popping into London, or I was up in Manchester post Olympics, and people just know you. So the sort of exposure that the Olympic Games provides were provided to me, especially obviously achieving what I achieved. Yeah, it's so special, and I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for the support of Colchester, you know, really getting behind me, and I'm excited. We look at what other sort of Queensberry fighters like Ryan Garner have done, you know, bringing boxing to Bournemouth, was it? South
so
Coast.
He's a Southampton guy,
yeah. He's Southampton, obviously boxing. It was in Bournemouth, wasn't it? Yeah. So bringing it back to the South Coast. You look at Crispin and Smith, obviously a different platform, but bringing boxing back down to the South, and I'm ready to. And we look at Fabio now bringing boxing to Suffolk. I'm looking to bring boxing back to Essex and bring it to Colchester. So. Yeah, in a few years' time, selling out the Cole United Stadium, we can definitely pencil that one in now. And
do you manifest? Are you manifesting?
Absolutely, yeah. This is going to happen, and I think we talk about where my debut is likely to be. It's the perfect setting to get a little taster of what's to come in the future.
So, what's the dream?
The dream is to be a world champion. A middleweight world champion, maybe even go up a weight, maybe even go down a weight, but be around that middleweight, super welter, super middle, be around them divisions. And I believe I'm certainly capable of becoming a world champion. I would love to do traditional route. I'd love to win the British, win the Commonwealth, win the European, and the world. The British more so. I'm extremely proud to have brung a medal back for Great Britain, and also to win that British title would be I'd be extremely proud of myself for doing that. But of course, the pinnacle for me is to go and win a world title.
So you're coached by Dennis Adams, right? So Dennis Adams, he was telling me earlier, he's the first ever national champion from Colchester. You're the first Olympic medalist from Colchester. Yeah. I guess you'll be the first world champion from Colchester.
I thought he'd get that in. Dennis is a great guy. I'm really looking forward to obviously working with Dennis. But yeah, I'd be the first one to come from Colchester. We did have someone a few years ago, 10 years ago now. Lee Purdy win a British title. But Colchester's not massively well known for its boxing, so I'm ready to bring those nights, bring big nights to Colchester and surrounding areas, because it's we've got a good solid city there and a good surrounding area for the community to get behind an athlete, and I certainly believe I'm that man for the job.
Best of luck to you.
Top man, thank you.
Lewis Richardson, the coldest man in Colchester.